So we're at Davos, the sun's out, there are helicopters in the air, the place is buzzing. What's been going on? What's happening today?
Well, today is the first official day of the World Economic Forum agenda, so that's when they have set their program, both public and private sessions. All of the delegations have arrived, the heads of state, A-list celebrities, you name it. So today is the action-packed day.
And what's happening within Refinitiv?
So within Refinitiv, we kicked things off really early this morning at about 7 a.m. with our Green Crime event. Despite the early hour, it was a packed room, so we were really happy about that.
Okay, and what is green crime? What was the discussion?
So green crime, in short, is it's a big problem, actually. It's estimated at about $258 billion. So a big problem that's being tackled. In short, it's criminals who are making a huge amount of money or saving a lot of money at the detriment of our environment and human lives.
Give me some examples. You know, how do I understand that more fully?
Yeah, so some examples of green crime could include things like wildlife trafficking, from all different sizes of species. So not just things that we've seen with elephants and ivory, for example, but down to, taking eels from Europe and shipping them to Asia Pacific, to the point where there's only 10% of that left in our world after just 3 decades of this happening. And then all the way to things that are much more close to, media attention, which is deforestation, logging, waste removal within rivers and oceans.
So this sounds like a massive global problem. How on earth do you tackle it?
Yeah, so it's really challenging because it's not really enforced. I mean, criminals can go pretty much, scot-free with this kind of thing because there isn't much collaboration at the global and local levels. Some of the challenges include lack of data transparency. So there's no sharing of private data between the public and private sectors. So law enforcement agencies and governments, they aren't able to piece the puzzle together because they don't have access to the data, which is there. Another one is really about lack of resources in all of these groups at all levels. So customs agents, for example, who are really, really close to the flow of green crime, they don't have enough time, money, investment to be able to raise some of the issues and the red flags when they see them. And lastly, and pretty much the most disappointing one, is that there's corruption at the highest levels of governments, judiciary functions, things like that. So it's a problem.
So are we doomed? I mean, is there any way out of this, or is this just something we've got to accept?
No, I mean, this is definitely not something that anyone is accepting. I think what is interesting in some of our esteemed panelists that we had today, from the Thomson Reuters Foundation, for example, to Europol, we're talking about just keeping the awareness there. Thomson Reuters Foundation is doing excellent work in training journalists on the ground into investigative journalism so that they're able to raise these issues and the red flags. And Europol, for example, is definitely not letting their things go. They're actually lobbying within the different government functions to be able to have access to the data, to be able to work within the private and public sectors, things like that. So I think that there's real will to keep on raising the awareness, to keep on combating, to fight this. So it's really just the beginning. We did it with anti-money laundering. We can do it with green crime.
Okay. And so, that's green crime, and that sounds like a massive and fascinating subject, and it's great to hear that Refinitiv are doing stuff at the very epicenter of that. What else is going on today? What's happening later?
Yeah, so I guess other than Greta Thunberg and Donald Trump trying to avoid eye contact.
Yes, 'cause they're both here.
Yes, and the program was actually interestingly done with Greta and Donald speaking very enough far apart so that there's no paths crossing. Other than that, there's a pretty hot ticket event. It's the AI and financial crime event. It's one of the private events that WEF is putting on, so not everybody has access to it. But lucky for us, David Craig and Deborah Walton from Refinitiv both are taking part, and so we'll be finding out their feedback and their takeaways from the discussion later.
Very good. And what about Refinitiv later this afternoon? Is there anything planned?
Yeah, so we're actually doing a joint event with Reuters. It's misinformation in the markets and fake news. Really exciting topic, of our time. Some of the panelists include the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, Helen Clark, as well as Jimmy Wales, who is the founder of Wikipedia.
Fantastic. And are we going to hear more from you later?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be back with you guys later to debrief you on, how the misinformation in markets went, and also maybe some of the fun nuggets of today at Davos.
Great. Look forward to that. Thank you very much.
Thanks. So today has been a big day, a first day. We heard from some really important people on the topics of today. Greta Thunberg, Donald Trump. Not everybody sees eye to eye, but what you can't deny is that this change is happening now, and really the future of sustainable finance in general, is never going to be the same. We've got some key takeaways from today that we wanted to share with you. Deborah Walton will be talking about what she felt and what she got out of the AI in financial services event. Right behind me, here at the point, is the Reuters Misinformation in Markets fake news event that we're doing in partnership. We're really lucky to be able to talk with Helen Clark, former Prime Minister of New Zealand, post the event to get her thoughts on Davos and what's most important, so stay tuned for that. I told you guys earlier about the AI and Financial Services closed door event. Well, I caught up with Deborah Walton, our Chief Revenue Officer, and she gave us her key takeaways. So, Deb, you were lucky enough to be in the closed door session with the WEF on AI and Financial Services. What were some of your key takeaways?
Well, it was a great session, and you're right, it was a real privilege to be invited to this closed door session of about, I would say, 50 people, our largest and most influential clients, BlackRock, UBS, and their C-suite that were there really engaged in a very thoughtful discussion around the impact of technology broadly in the financial markets. I got to join a small breakout group on investment management. We had a great, lively discussion about what we thought were going to be the most impactful technologies for the investment management sector in the next 12 months. And without question, AI sort of was at the top of the list, and everybody is pursuing a very aggressive AI agenda. We talked a lot about the importance of cloud as an enabling technology. Look, for me, it was fantastic, really, and it just drives home the power of being in Davos, being able to engage in a discussion, really show up as partners with our largest clients, and be at the forefront of discussions that are really shaping our industry. It was a really good session.
Great. Well, thanks so much, and enjoy the rest of Davos.
Thank you.
So the night is young here, still lots to go on. We're starting the day again, 7 a.m., bright and early, with our sustainability event. We've got something really exciting that we're launching with partners from across the industry to do something really concrete now about this problem that we're facing. And if you want to get ahead of the game, why don't you tune in and watch our video on the carbon correction, which our CEO, David Craig, will take you through.